Hey everyone, welcome back to my corner of the earth. It's Celestial Estelle here, and today I have a collective reading for you. I wanted to jump on and let everyone know how this reading was going to play out. So we're going to start with the collective portion first, and we are going to end with the journal prompts that match the collective reading. And I'm really hoping that you guys sit with these journal prompts and come back to them throughout the week and really just investigate and dig a little bit deeper on some of the things that resonated with you throughout this reading. Now that I got that out of the way, we are going to go ahead and jump into this collective reading for this week. Hi everybody, I hope everyone is doing well. We are going to jump right in and get started for the collective energy for this week. So this is from January 5th until January, I want to say 12th, I believe. If you happen to stumble upon this video at a later date, I want to go ahead and say that this video is still meant for you, and you can still get something from this collective reading and from the journal prompts that you'll be receiving at the end. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and I'm really feeling called to pull a surrender card for the collective here. So Spirit, for this week, what does the collective need to surrender at this time? These are going to be positive, affirming, and uplifting messages, as well as affirmations for you guys to help ground you on your path, redirect your path, or just affirm it. What is the collective needs to surrender at this time, Spirit? Please give me clear and accurate messages as I read for the collective. And please protect us from any negative energy that could be okay. So the card that we pulled was Surrender to Setting Limits. I hope that focuses for you guys. So it says, it is healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing boundaries. Practice expressing your needs, and remember that no is a complete sentence. So I'm going to put that right there, and I hope that's something, it's going to be the theme for this week, which is setting boundaries and setting limits. And I'm really picking up within the collective that over the past couple months, even years, especially with all of the content, healing content that we see in pop psychology, that we see online these days, that a lot of us have, I don't want to say mastered setting boundaries and setting limits with other people and with jobs and understanding our need for rest and things of that nature. But I'm not so positive that the collective has fully explored what it means to set boundaries with themselves. To and understand the difference between restriction and boundaries, or restriction and discipline. Because I'm picking up in this energy that for some of us, because I'm included in this reading, right? And I always try to differentiate what messages are coming through for me and what messages are coming through for the collective. And I know for myself, I've fallen into a pattern of I have to, work because this is a promise that I made to myself. And I'm very big on keeping promises to myself, because keeping promises and keeping my word to myself is the way to restore trust and faith in myself, especially for some of the ways that I've harmed myself or betrayed myself in the past, right? But with saying, I also have to look at it from the perspective of, why am I working? What do I think? Why am I valuing work over rest? Why am I valuing work over self-care? Or why am I valuing work over spending time with myself or with friends, right? Rather, why am I valuing these goals and these commitments, which are usually career-oriented, versus setting goals that are based on, becoming more intimate, or becoming more grounded, or becoming more safe and secure within myself and my identity. So for the collective, I'm getting, they're setting limits. A lot of us might be recovering from being people pleasers and are still kind of struggling with this people pleaser energy, because you go back and forth between, am I being too mean? But collective, there's a difference between, and I'm going to pull cards here, don't worry. This is just the opening message. Collective, there's a difference between being mean and honoring yourself and what you want. If you don't want to do something, or if you don't feel like doing something, if you don't feel as though what you're signing up to do, you can be intentional and fully committed and fully present in that, then I would go ahead and say, do not sign up, or do not commit, or do not make yourself accessible to those things, especially if you can't fully show up and commit to that. Now, are we going to be able to fully show up and commit to everything all the time? Absolutely not. But I think you know what I mean when I'm saying that. Please don't be obtuse. All right? We don't operate and work in extremes here. But let's continue to pull spirit. Let me settle into this energy for the collectives. Surrender to setting limits, spirit. What is happening in the collective's energy this week? The collective needs to know about. 5 of Cups. Ooh. I'm going to pull some more cards, but I'm already picking up this energy. And there's something about, yes, honor your feelings, but you need to learn also when it's appropriate to allow that sadness to come through. There's this energy of needing to learn how to keep your sadness and your loneliness at bay, because for some of the collective, it's kind of consuming your life, and it's getting into this energy where it's really depression. It's a bout of depression. And I'm going to go ahead and say that if this is something that you resonate with, and you watch these videos and you watch pick card readings and tarot readings to feel good or to feel better about yourself or to learn more about yourself, do not use this as a substitute for therapy, okay? Do not use spirituality to bypass what you're going through mentally, emotionally, and physically. Yes, sometimes it could be a spiritual problem that you're going through. I know a lot of times people like to say, I have a generational curse, or I'm living with generational trauma. Rarely are people living with generational curses, and more so they're living with generational trauma. But sometimes it's not a generational trauma that you're experiencing, or it's not a hex or a curse or the evil eye that's being put on you. It's a buildup of emotional pain and trauma that you've experienced in this lifetime that is unprocessed. And so for a lot of the collective, the trauma that we've experienced in the past, and I know I say this a lot, is ultimately blinding us from seeing the new growth and the beauty that is surrounding us. I always encourage people, and I think I'm going to do a video on this, on keeping a gratitude journal, how to keep and maintain a gratitude journal. Because when you have a gratitude practice, it truly helps shift your perspective. Even if you're experiencing a bout of depression, and you might say to yourself, hey Estelle, if I'm experiencing depression, what's going to be the motivation for me to actually pick up that journal and write to myself? But if you are emotionally active in a way where you are, in a sense, please don't get mad at me, in a sense, choosing to ruminate, right? It might be an intrusive thought, but at a certain point of time, we do make the conscious choice to latch on and go down that rabbit hole. We do. So in those times, and please don't say, this can't be said for every single person, obviously not. But if you are experiencing these bouts of depression and you are ruminating and you are sitting with that sadness, why not pick up a journal and express the sadness that you're feeling, and then flip it on its head and say, although all of these things are happening, this is what I have. This is what excites me. This is what's bringing me joy. This is what I'm looking forward to this week. This is who I'm looking forward to seeing. This is what I'm looking forward to experiencing this week. This is what I'm looking forward to seeing from myself this week. We haven't even gotten into the journal prompts. But this is the message that I'm really channeling for the collective. And I want to try to keep these videos, I always say I want to try to keep these videos to 15 minutes or less. Keep it very easy. But these messages, look at the strength. This could not be made up. Strength. I don't even want to get into, these questions are really coming through. Spirit, this is for January 5th to January 12th for the collective. What does the collective need to know? What energy is surrounding them? We have justice, balance. Justice is Libra, the balance of the 7th sign. Balancing mind, body, and spirit. And knowing and having faith that the good is yet to come. There is a need to boost truly. Ooh, I'm feeling so pulled. I'm going to stop this right now with the tarot cards. And I'm going to pull from the Rumi Oracle deck. Because this is a deep-rooted pain, a deep-rooted emptiness that I feel as though if I pulled from another deck, the strength card would keep popping up. Because Spirit truly wants you to have strength and pride and value yourself. Have some semblance of value and self-love. Because strength is Leo. Leo rules the sun. The sun is loving. The sun is nurturing. And you might say the moon is nurturing. The sun is also nurturing. It's warm. It's supportive. It's encouraging. It's uplifting and it's empowering. So this is an energy of self-empowerment this week that is surrounding the collective. And I'm feeling as though last week it might have been a very depressive energy, but this week, this is what we're moving into, strength of justice. I'm going to pull one more card here for this week before I pull from the Rumi Oracle deck. And not toxic self-improvement where it's, I need to do better because something is wrong with me. No, collective, nothing is wrong with you. You are having an appropriate response to the cards that you have been dealt with. But now it's time to flip these cards on its head and get the most out of your experience. And pull from this. Pull whatever you can from this. Take whatever you can from this experience and empower yourself. Let this drive you. Nothing is wrong with you for being sad or feeling depressed or even wanting to unalive yourself. That is an appropriate response. Wanting to give up. That is an appropriate response. Okay? I don't want anybody to feel as though something is wrong with them. But this is self-improvement and understanding that you deserve more love, more support, more acknowledgement. We have the Tower. Wow. Wow. For some of the collective, this week might feel challenging. Where you might feel as though you just need a timeout. You want to give up. Surrender to setting limits. This week, do what you can, collective. Just do what you can and let the rest go. Do the bare minimum. And I always say do the bare maximum, but do the bare minimum. Do what you can do and let the rest go. And please communicate to people how you are feeling this week. I said I was going to pull. There's going to be opportunities for you to go out, to experience the world. Whoop, what did I say with the Fool card? To experience the world. Somebody could be inviting you out this week, collective. Somebody could be inviting you out to go get drinks. It could be somebody. I'm picking up somebody wearing glasses. I don't know why. But somebody is wearing black rimmed glasses. And I can see the collective, whether you're a man or a woman. It's not some type of date. But it's more so something that's going to be proposed to you. A proposition. That spirit is really going to want you to be able to see as something that's going to be beneficial. You might write this person off and think, oh, nothing's to come from this. But no, something, this connection is going to not necessarily catapult your career or your life in such a drastic, huge way, but it's going to be a subtle shift that over weeks and over months, you're going to be happy that you decided to take this person seriously. Yeah. It's going to take you out on a journey. We have the Fool and we have the Three of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we have Page of Swords, and we split the deck. Ooh. Page of Swords. And then we have the Three of Swords. We think about the Page being the youngest, and the Knight and the Queen as somebody that has become so cold-hearted and so, yes, they're intellectual, they're smart, they're wise, they're grounded in this reality, but while also existing in that mental plane. But when I think of all the swords, they're also detached from love. They're also detached from love. So what I'm really picking up is there's a deeper need for love that needs to exist within the collective. That's why I said, what do you look forward to? I'm not even at the journal prompts yet, and I want to pull from the Rumi Oracle deck. Spirit, please. Let's pull a card for the collective for this week, January 5th into the 12th, I believe. Or maybe the 13th, is it? For this energy. For this energy, please, Spirit. Give me one card for the collective. A message that the collective needs to receive right now. Got two cards, but I will take the top one. It says, let love transform. I cannot make that up. I was just saying something about love and feeling detached from love. Feeling as though, expanding on this card, feeling as though you don't have close connections with people. Or you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard. Because when we think of Leo, the second card that we pulled, the Strength card, Leo is about being seen, being appreciated, being heard. Right? Leo is the fifth sign. It's about children. And we have to think about children being fragile and the ego starting to form with Leo. And I know in spirituality we always talk about transcending the ego, but the ego is something that is needed. And the ego needs to be acknowledged. It needs to be sat with. And that ego, that identity that we project out into the world, we need to be reminded that that is okay, that we are okay. That's why I really wanted to drive home that there is nothing wrong with the collective for feeling this depth of sadness that's being experienced. So we have card 14. Ooh, and February 14th, let love transform. February 14th, we got the card 14. Synchronicities, y'all. That's all I'm going to say. Synchronicities. Let's see here. Let's see what we got going on here. So, card 14. It says, let love transform. The poem in the beginning is, the spring of love arrives to transform the dust into a garden. The call is heard from the heavens. Oh my God. You know what I also noticed? Sunday, when this reading will be posted, the full moon is going to be in Leo. Let that be known. The full moon is going to be in Leo. Just want to say that. It says, the call is heard from the heavens to bid the wings of the soul to fly. The sea becomes filled with pearls. The dry land receives the water of life. So the stone becomes a ruby, and the body becomes all soul. Love is my medicine, intelligent medicine. It takes death and makes it a passageway into greater life. What genius is this? A genius that will render anything and everything as a pathway to life. I have found a bench upon which we may be seated. Nay, not a bench, a love seat. It is carved of precious ruby. It sits under the gentle shade of an ancient tree that thrives in love's garden. Come sit with me, beloved, as we let the whispers of the great beloved penetrate our hollowed ears and carried upon the sweet afternoon breeze. It says this oracle comes to you as a living spiritual gift. Whether you realize it or not, you have triumphed. You won with the Strength card. Ooh, I'm so happy for y'all. This is beautiful. Whether you realize or not, you have triumphed. You have blossomed, succeeded, cast aside that which was unworthy, and taken up love's way. How much delight there is for all of those that walk this way of love, of light, to find another precious companion in their midst. You are welcomed into this world where love finds a way. There is nothing impossible for love. It is not bound by the mind, and because of this, all manner of miraculous grace works through it in endless creative variety. The great beloved is a show-off, creating with such genius as to be breathtaking, where we are able to remain always in the heart. We should be constantly breathless, in a fit of appreciation and great and all so great. Have a gratitude journal, y'all. Just want to slip that in there. Truly, there should not be even a slither of emptiness through which fear could enter. What does this mean? It means an avenue for divine fulfillment has been found. You are being given the power for spiritual success. Your heart's yearning shall manifest itself, but you must comply according to the law of love. What does that mean exactly? Do not attach yourself to the form that your resolution and success shall take. Why would we ever seek to limit love's creative genius? No, instead trust that this will be a magnificent perfection, literally the work of a great genius. Detach yourself from expectations of timing. The harvest will be at the best time when the ripeness is just right, so utterly juicy and sweet, you shall know with certainty that this was the best way. Not a moment sooner would have been perfect, not a moment later. Absolute trust is the best way to adhere to the law of love. This gives you rather some energy to spare. Ooh, energy to spare. Surrender to setting limits. There is no finish line for whatever this is. It says this gives you rather some energy to spare. Perhaps that might have otherwise been engaged in perpetuating worry or doubts. While I am so happy to see that you are twiddling your divine thumbs and wondering if you are not going to worry, if you are just going to surrender and trust, then what will exactly will you do with yourself? Well, of course, you can just live your life. But perhaps you may want to dance barefoot and wild with me upon the cool sand at midnight, underneath the fullness of the harvest moon. I hope this Leo moon is not a harvest moon. That would be scary to me. So the sacred honoring ritual that you can do now or later throughout this week is open your arms to the heavens and imagine sacred bounty pouring down, more than you can hold. I like to think of this as a healing pool or a healing light that's being scanned from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your feet. And this healing light goes down, scans down from your shoulders to your chest, to your ribs, to your stomach, your navel, your pelvic bones, your inner thighs, your knees, to your ankles, your calves, or your calves to your ankles, to your feet, and back up. So that's something that you guys can practice. So it says, this is a love's gift of plenty to you. Imagine what it is you want. Love, abundance, peace, passion, healing, purpose. Let it descend into your body and soul, just like that. When you are ready, place your hands on your heart and say, I am love's own. I am seated with my brother Rumi, who loves me unconditionally, upon the love seat, a sacred garden of the divine creator. I am blessed to fulfill my destiny, to become divinity awakened and embodied, to receive all of life with the wings of angels at my back, so I may rise with my sacred animal feet to dance with sacred delight upon this earth. Put your hands in prayer, bow your head for a moment, and you have finished your sacred honoring ritual. That was very beautiful. What I took away from that was bigger than letting love guide you, but accepting especially in this depth sadness, when we ask ourselves, why us, why is this happening, why do I have to fight this, why do I have to do this, understanding that you are not alone in this process. You are not alone in this process of healing, of change. And now, I'm not one of those spiritualists or practitioners that say you chose this life before you came here and that everything that happens to you is because you manifested it or something of that nature. No, because a lot of times, most times, more often than not, horrible things happen to wonderful, beautiful people. I believe sometimes people just miss their karma, right? I believe there are so many different factors and so many different timelines at play that something, horrible things cannot be chosen. They just happen. And so in understanding that you are not alone in this process, and that understanding that you are not the only being that you can draw this energy from to transform you, to heal you, that the divine is here holding your hand in this process. But you have to allow that love in and let that love transform you by accepting that love and by recognizing that you are no longer in that situation anymore. Okay? I'm going to pull some final messages here and close out this reading as we get into the journal prompts for this week. Spirit, give me a moon oracle message. I didn't even ask a question. Spirit, give me a moon oracle message for the collective for this week. Wow. This was the card that I put back, and it says a win-win forecast. A win-win outcome is in forecast. So whatever drew you to this reading, or whatever you've been feeling worried about, or whatever you're feeling something that's not going to happen, a change is not going to happen, it says a win-win forecast is an outcome. Or win-win outcome is a forecast, sorry. So you will succeed in this endeavor, in this situation. You will come out on top, whatever it may be. Whether the situation is you just battling negative emotions and negative feelings, you'll be able to overcome that this week. Or it won't be carried from last week into this week, okay? Whatever it may be. Give me an affirmation card for the collective, Spirit. Give me a light affirmation card, Spirit. Just one card here. I said I was going to keep these readings under 15 minutes, and they are longer than 15 minutes. It says trust. Ooh, I trust life and my strength. Each moment guides me to the light. Everything on my path is placed there for my growth. I love that. You guys can also come back to this reading throughout the week. Listen to this reading in parts if you need to. Whatever way is going to help you investigate and see in what area, what part of my life does this resonate with me? What part of my life can I sit with this and try to see what I can shift my perspective on? Give me an affirmation for this week, Spirit. It says, life supports me. It says, life created me to be fulfilled. I trust life, and life is always there at every turn. I am safe. I love that, especially while we're experiencing this tower energy, knowing and understanding that we are safe and that we are loved and that we are supported by life. Like I said, you are not the only being going through this. You're not the only human being that has felt pain or suffering or illness or loss. And you will not be the last. And you are not alone through this. Give me a crystal message. It says prioritize your health here, collective. So this week you really need to prioritize your health, your mental, physical, emotional wellness and health. Get together with friends, get together with loved ones, okay? See some friends, see some loved ones, take your mind off things, go roller skating, go for a swim. And last but not least, for this week, Spirit, give me some productive energy from January 5th. I don't like that one. Just one card at a time, please, Spirit. Just one card, please. Ooh, we have great happiness. So you guys will experience joy and pleasure this week. Give me 2 cards from this half. There we go. Exactly what I got. So, interesting. So we got cracked cup and a great happiness. So being happy with the things that you can't change. Being happy with the things that are out of control, that you're dissatisfied with, and sitting with that and saying that is okay. Yes, things suck right now, and that is okay. Because if you were experiencing a low point, you are going to experience a high point. So maybe the first half of this week you're experiencing